A little while ago, I was visiting India. If any of you ever have the chance, it's a wonderful country. And I was in New Delhi, and I went to this place called the Gafar market. And this is an extraordinary market because it used to be kind of a center for buying, goods and spices, but it's recently kind of reinvented itself as the best place in northern India to buy a mobile phone, or at least that's what I thought. So I was wandering through the marketplace, and I walked up to a stall, and I said, listen, I want to buy a mobile phone. And the guy just looked at me blankly. And I realized I was asking the wrong question. So I said, I want you to help me build a phone. And then he got excited, and he started bringing out all these components. And he said, okay, well, what kind of case would you like? I said, I'll take that one. And he said, what kind of screen would you like? I said, I'll take that one. And we went through about 10 of these, and finally, he looked at me and said, what kind of brand do you want me to put on the phone? I love India. How many of us are truly so adaptive in our approach to new technologies and change that we can adjust to the environments the way that these Indian sellers do? And the fact is that change is not just something that's happening in the 21st century. It's something that companies have always had to face. And when you look at any company that's been successful and any company that's failed, you realize that over a long span of time, the companies that don't survive because they fail to redefine themselves for the world that's changing around them. And successful companies, you'll notice every 10 to 20 years, whatever is their core business is something they weren't even doing 20 years ago. Change is very much coming to the financial services industry. You've already seen it in the UK, where changes in regulation to the way that advisors can organise and structure their fees has led to a rebirth and a decimation of the traditional model of the advisor. The independent advisors in the UK have had to become more aggressive, more proactive with the use of technology, and much clearer in the way they demonstrate value to their clients. And of course, it's not just financial services. You've seen it in media, in music, in banking, in telecommunications, all industries that have been forced to change because of change in behavior and regulations. This is something that we just have to adapt to as organizations. Often your first idea will never be your best. Can any of you guess which company for whom this was their first product? It's a rice cooker. It's actually the world's worst rice cooker. Most of the time it never worked, and when it did work, it caught on fire. It was made by Sony. This was Sony's first product. Thank God they discovered transistor radios fairly soon after. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have heard of them. But also, equally, your best idea will probably never be your last. Can any of you guess which company makes this extraordinary face cream? It's made by Fujifilm. Now, we often talk about Kodak as a kind of an example of how blindsided you could be to the future. But people often don't talk about why Fujifilm survived while Kodak failed. You see, Fuji realized that they had a lot of capabilities from film that were relevant for the future. They understood collagen, because collagen was a key component of film. They understood nanotech and very small particles. And of course, they knew a fair amount about imaging. They took those three capabilities and used it with a lot of R&D to create some of the world's most effective and scientifically engineered face cream. I can see a few of you now are making a note. I just need some, I need film particles in my skin. But that's an example of how you can take the capabilities from your present and use it to redesign your future.